Good evening, or morning, or afternoon, or just whatever it is where you live. Today we will continue with our quests in Eregion. Last time, and that was 2 days ago, we did a lot of quests and deeds and stuff all over the place. And today I would like to focus a little bit more on the quests in Eregion. Hopefully that will take us a little bit towards Moria. Moria is literally around the corner. I'll kind of wait for an extra 4 levels, so we are level 50 when we enter Moria. I think we would almost be able to take on Moria, maybe on level 48 or just something close to that, and then we will just take on book of volume 2, the prologue of that, and that enable us to do quests in the hall on the walls of Moria, and that will take us inside of Moria eventually. Sorry, I'm not completely sure if I will do the entire epic quest line. At some point I will. I don't know if I will do that before we enter Moria or a little bit after that, or do some of the quests and some a little bit later. I'm not sure how I will do that, but that's something to think about. And now just let's continue where we left off. We have some bonus experience from VIP, and no, I'm not going to make more tea. He is great, but you need to know when you stop. And yeah, we do a few runs of the seeds and the planting seeds quests. We will also do a little bit more quests towards the find the word, towards the east, where we kind of were last time, not exactly all over the place. You see in our map we have small dots that will lead us there again. They aren't the hardest quests, but they need to be done. So that's something we will do. And yeah, along the way just do our usual stuff. With some luck we will receive the last 3 pages. If they are done, then you will receive more trade points. I've just checked and I noticed that we have 2 already, and we need about 4 more to unlock the new tier. Well, they're nice to have, but we do not really need them at this point. So I'm not that focused on those points. Instead of that, we will just continue, and we will get them eventually. And even in Moria, it's possible to get your last pages, so you will get them eventually. The last stream was kind of a stretch, I found out eventually. On Monday we did a 4-hour stream. My target is stream for about 2 hours. So that's just a little bit more than that I was planning on. And last time it was a 4-hour stream as well. And yeah, I'm kind of struggling sometimes to get that last hour somewhat entertaining. So I won't say for the upcoming year, but probably this month or maybe the upcoming month I won't be doing that long of a stream. Maybe if I have a special guest or something in that manner, I will do a longer stream, so it's a little bit easier to get it to stay entertaining. And yeah, not me having we do now this, then we do this, we kill 5 more. I was watching it back and I was getting quite tired of it. So yeah, it's a learning curve for me, and I'm learning a lot. And when I watch some stuff of it back, I noticed that well, the first hour, maybe the first 2 hours are kind of the best, and yeah, after that it declines a little bit. Of course, it depends a little bit on what we are doing. We were doing quests or like the deeds in the Shire. Yeah, that wasn't really good for the mood. But that's something we have to tackle in another way. But for now, yeah, I noticed that we have a lot of quests to do in Eregion, so we will be fine for a long time. And since we are doing, well, at least I'm planning to do shorter streams, not the long 4 hours, more like 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. We won't fly through those quests that fast, and eventually we will need less quests per level, since we have yeah, it's going great already. We will just do the VIP experience and maybe a little bit of the enhanced experience boost. Then we are mostly done. At least I think that will be the case. And yeah, then the stream will be over, and the day after get a new supply of the enhanced experience, and that way we will level a little bit faster with less quests, probably less deeds, less grinding. Yeah, that's also a way to play the game. Not something you can do when you are playing as premium or via free-to-play player, but it's an option when you are VIP for a while. Since for some reason you need to be VIP to use the perks or the destiny points, and yeah, I don't really get why that is, but you can gather your destiny points in time that you are playing for free or as premium, that doesn't matter. So you would be able to gather them, and the times that you are VIP for sometimes it's easier to level faster and get the most out of your VIP month or just the period that you work. All those trees, man. Yeah, but after that it's probably somewhere in the middle of the month. I believe somewhere around the 20th of November, I will become premium again. So then the enhanced experience won't be an option anymore. Oh man. No, still a long way away. So that's mainly how I level at this moment. So we level a little bit faster towards Moria, and we are inside Moria. I am not sure what I will do. Since, yeah, I like to stay a little bit in familiar area. And at the moment I haven't really been past Moria. So I know Moria quite well, and on the other regions like Eregion and Forakel a little bit, but more like Evernight, or of course Bree and Ellet Lubin. I know a little bit of the North Downs. I have done that one maybe twice now, maybe 3 times. That's about it. And a few times Lowlands. But yeah, I haven't been, well, I have been in Lothlorien maybe for a total of half an hour, and I haven't done any quests up there yet. I have to do a few for my Moria deeds I'm working on my other Loremaster, and that's one I will probably show sometime in the future, just so you have an idea what I'm talking about. But that character is completely different from this one. This one I, well, another place. On that one I like to stay a little bit more on level, do as much as possible the instances and the deeds as well. So the Loremaster is almost done with the entirety of well, either with the area door deeds. It just needs just the 2 regions in the south. So that would be Dunland and that one north of them. That's also south of Eregion. But that's level 65, so I haven't been there. Not really, actually. I've traveled through it maybe once or twice. That's about it. And yeah, I have to do those. And at the moment I'm working on the deeds from... Where's the one? Oh, there, somewhere there. Oh, there, okay. Now I'm working on the Moria deeds. That's going rather well. Today I had a lot of help from Nel Nardis and Nebriel. Nel and Neb, just for short. And that helped a lot. We did a few, that would be unfair. We did quite a lot of instances today. A few we did multiple times. We did the Watcher sometimes. The Watcher is really difficult to find a group for. And yeah, basically we did most of Moria instances, mainly for the Slayer deeds, few exploration deeds, and yeah, that's most of the stuff that I still need to do. We finished about 10 deeds, close to 10 deeds. So it was a huge improvement on the bucket list. But still, I'm not done. I have to do a lot of deeds on that character. And on this character we will do it eventually. Not sure when. What I do know is that it is a lot easier on Evernight. I mean, it's a lot easier to get a group together compared to Lorelin. And that's a little bit the struggle that I have there. Not to say that it's a bad server, but it's quite hard to get a group for the lower content together. And of course, sometimes you get lucky, but most of the times you don't. And then it can be quite, well, that can really be annoying. And you have to work a lot to get stuff done. There are always a few instances that you cannot do. And yeah, the raids in Moria aren't that bad, to be honest. The only one that you have to do for the savior of Khazad-dûm is the Watcher in the Water. You have to do them multiple times, and with multiple I mean a lot of times. Since you need 90 arms in total, or actually the tentacles of them, and each run you have about 10 of them, maybe 15, but that's already a little bit much. Attack. So it's quite hard in the first place to get a group together, not even to think about getting a group about close to 8 times together. That's not really possible on long run. So it was really great to have some help from Loremaster and Nap. Nell and Nap still sounds funny. We had a blast, it was fun. Way more fun than I would have done with semi-strange people. That's for sure. And yeah, hopefully we will do a few more of them. Nap eventually did all of the deeds necessary to complete the savior of Khazad-dûm. And now he has on his guardian the nimble black something goat steed, and that's actually my goal as well. Complete the savior of Khazad-dûm, at the same time also complete the regular deeds. So we have completed that, and we can move on. But that's well, the regular deeds aren't that bad. I still have to do a few of the Slayer deeds. I just have to need to find a good spot for that. But besides that, there is still a deed that you have to do for each and every riddle in Moria. Isn't that hard either, but I don't know where I am at the moment. So I have to find it out first. And after that, we still need to do what's this? Oh, that's also here, I think. Beyond that mountain cliff something. Wouldn't be too bad, at least. But yeah, I'm still a little bit working on Moria. Maybe we will do that a little bit tomorrow. My short Friday stream. Not sure if I will do that, because I will plan that. Now my first essence. Okay. What is it? 25 vitality. Not so useful. Where's he going? Okay. Yep, that's that one. Done. Plant seeds. There's one more. Yes. A little bit further up the mountain. But my Friday stream is on a really tight window. On one side I have to finish my dinner a little bit early, and I don't know every time how late I will have my dinner. And on the other side, Leonardo starts streaming at, I believe, 7 PM GMT or 6 PM GMT, not entirely sure. Somewhat in that region. I'm sure about that. And I don't really like to stream when she is streaming. But that's a little bit of struggle that I have on Friday. So that most of the time only a stream of about an hour. And it can be a challenge to find some content just an hour. But it's doable for sure. That should not be the problem. Yeah. You will a few quests, a few Slayer deeds on level in Moria. Yeah, that should be doable. Maybe that riddle quest. Yeah, let's see that tomorrow. I'm sure I can plan something for that. But at the same time, I don't really want to spoil a lot for this stream. I have to find something that I probably won't do on this character, but still have to do on my main Loremaster. And I don't really have that much to do anymore, at least in Moria. While I continue to the higher regions, I'll probably have a lot more to do. And I have to work again on my legendary items, a lot of struggles that come with it. So, not sure what I want to do then. And maybe I will just keep him kept on level 60, or maybe I will go up to level 65. So I can at least get the last region in Eregion. At least I can do the quests up there without missing all the time, or the enemies just simply deflecting everything. That's something to consider. But for now, we'll keep it on this one, and just as I said, we will level this one up to level 50, and then we will enter Moria. The Moria epics aren't that bad actually. I like them more than Volume 1. Volume 2 is a little bit shorter. And it has a little bit of a mix. Sometimes you have a little bit of session play, so you play as another class, so you have to experience a little bit more diversity. It includes a few skirmishes, so you can do a little bit more of the instance content with friends. Or just let friends help you to speed it up. That's of course also an option. And yeah, just in general, you are just traveling a little bit more, to my feeling, but it's not every time to the same place. Where, for example, Volume 1 is most of the time travel to Rivendell, talk to Elrond. And you still have to travel a lot to the 21st Hall. It's way not that much as compared to Volume 1. But of course volume 1 basically starts on level 5, roughly, if they are the prologue quests, and level 14, 15 are somewhat sent to Breland. Then you talk with Strider, and there volume 1 starts for real. And yeah, volume 2 is only from level 50 to 60, I don't know, maybe a little bit more in 60, maybe 61 or 62. It's just way less level that it has to cover, and so in general it's just normal to be a little bit shorter. Still, it's great content, and I'm looking forward to do it again. Last time I stretched it a little bit and I paused the epic quest line here somewhere in the middle. But on my minstrel, together with Nelmardis and Gabriel most of the times. We are also in Moria, and we are a little bit over leveled. I'm not that over leveled on my minstrel, but now a lot higher already. And there we have decided to do just the epic, maybe a few side quests, mainly the epic, so we can make it quite fast into LOTRO. Oh, yeah, a quest up here. What is it that we need to do? Oh, collect the access. Okay. So yeah, and that's something I won't be streaming, my minstrel, since that's every Sunday inside or on Nelmardis her stream. I will host it, of course, as I always do. That's mainly the content that you will see there, and I hope, since our tiny toons, so my Guardian is in Moria as well, that we can do them a little bit one after the other. And it probably won't be happening with the Guardian and the Minstrel, but maybe we can do that on this character. Then there's leaves on the trees, man. They get annoying sometimes. So maybe we will do the entire epic after all, just to give us a little bit more time. But yeah, I haven't really decided yet what's the why am I punching my enemy? Okay, I'm not entirely sure what I will be doing. One thing that I know for sure is that we need to level quite a lot in here, and we are still a little bit under leveled, and we really need to be level 50 before we enter Moria. It makes the Watcher part in the Volume 2 prologue a little bit easier. And yeah, just a little bit more pleasant gameplay in general. And maybe we will lock ourselves on level 60 as well. It's quite pleasing actually. At the moment on my main Loremaster. It allows you to take your time a little bit more for the content, and that way you don't have to rush for everything or skip half of a region which are already 1 or 2 levels above everything. It's lets you a little bit more headroom to experiment with your legendary items, and you already kind of know what you're doing. You don't really need that. It can be useful at times. It's basically exactly what I did. I went first I went to level 50 actually. I was probably level 50 already when I came out of Eregion, since I did a lot of quests early. Most of Angmar, everything in Evernight, everything in Eregion as well. And yeah, so I was, I believe, kept at level 48 when I entered Eregion, and I removed the cap, and like 1 or 2 days later I was level 50, and I wasn't even past this point where we are now. But there was not really any need to level fast in any way or whatsoever. A roosting tree. Oh, we have to go back. I knew that there was something. Well, there are worse things. At least we can collect resources. But that's what I did last time. Hey, another page. Nice. Complete. Nice. Getting better. And we have another class trade point. So we have 3 now. And 10 more points. Okay. We already have more than enough for those for the journeyman riding trade upgrade. I will wait with that for at least 2 days, since the current sale will end in 2 days. If it happens to be that the riding trades are on sale then, I would be quite happy, because that will save me. Probably they will be on sale for 25%, and that's still about 750 LOTRO points. So that's definitely worth to wait a little bit. And yeah, we have waited for it now like a month or 4 months at least. So I'm sure we can wait another 2 days. And maybe I will wait altogether for the sale. It can be quite tedious to farm all your LOTRO points. But this again, the 3k that you have now, it's probably from the last, well, what shall it be? Probably 5 months, 6 months, maybe even more. Yeah, if you can save a quarter of that, it's still like 2 months of gameplay that we will save. And on most characters, I kind of tend to walk more than that I ride. A lot of players that ride well, most of the time, and they will experience a little bit more benefit from it. But yeah, I'm not that much of a rider. I find it quite annoying that every time when I make a new character I have to buy the riding trait. At least when I create them when they are not VIP. So I found it quite annoying, and every time it's still 95 LOTRO points. So yeah, that adds up quite fast. For example, when I go to a new server, I tend to have a main, and most of the time I tend to have 1 or 2 alts that I level as well, even if that's only for the crafting. But still, it's nice to have the riding traits on that one. Sometimes I think that I like to play the warden, for example. I really hate to play a warden. It's just not my class. And yeah, then I think that it would be useful to have a riding trait on there as well. So it's another 95 LOTRO points that I will hardly ever use. And that way it will add up really well. Actually, really bad. It costs points. And this will save me points in the future. It's roughly the same idea why I have a giant inventory space and just a normal vault space. Since yeah, or at least vault space maybe not the best example, but character, I actually don't know if vault space is account wide or just to one character. I don't know, to be honest. At least I always thought that it was account wide. But that's why I haven't spent any LOTRO points on that. At the same time, it sounds quite reasonable to be for every character. I don't know. Don't know actually how that's managed. Yeah, I will look into that. It's something to do. If it's account wide, yeah, then there's really no point in not having that. I like inventory a little bit more. It gives you freedom in personal house to just drop off one character, maybe more characters in there. Just to be your bank account for example resources or just what you want for it. And yeah, that is the thing. Okay. That enables you to get close to your storage chest in your house instead of walking every time to the vault master, vault keeper, how the thing is called actually. You don't have to walk every time. I find that a little bit more convenient. And if you are done, if that character is full, you can just get a new alt around there that will have the max vault space once again. Actually, is inventory space. Okay. No boss fight or whatsoever. No, you can just burn a tree in the middle of nowhere. Okay. There's one that's also done. One is done. Remove them from the tracker. We know what we have to do. Plant seeds, feed wood trolls, and scout for company a little bit more. Let's do that scout thingy first. Let's put it here. That quest quite focused. That was the option I was looking for. So that's at least the plans for now. While I did things in the past, I have done them. Another big advantage, of course, from inventory space compared to vault space, you can have more items in your inventory all the time. And that's nice if you're a real collector, or actually a hoarder, but that's another subject. It also allows you to make longer trips, especially when you're going on instances like Angmar or Urgard, or a few in Moria as well. It's really useful to have more space. Otherwise everything will end up in your overflow, and your overflow can fill up as well, and then you will just lose items. And most of the times it's just some crappy trash item or items for tasks, so not really that much of a waste, but it can happen that you miss really useful items, or even items that you need to proceed your instance. For example, there are a few keys in Karn Doom, for example. You need those in order to, well, I won't say take the shortcut, but progress a little bit faster. And you need a few keys entirely to get even to the end. So if your inventory is full and your overflow is full, you either need to destroy items to make space, or just hope that your key won't get destroyed. If that happens, yeah, then you can start all over in the Karn Doom. And if that's the first time, not that much of a problem, since you will probably Angmar a few more times. I say that the wrong way around. And it isn't your first time, that was what I meant. Then it really isn't a problem, since you have the keys already. If you do it for your first time, you have the keys, well, you can kind of add them to your keychain, sort of. And then you don't have to carry it around. You need to collect them once, and then it's fine. But yeah, if you don't get the keys since your overflow is full, yeah, that's annoying. I'm fisting again, yay! Okay. But yeah, that's why I took the upgrade for the second half of my inventory. First half was actually quite easy to figure out. Since I collect a lot, I mean really a lot, and I used to have the habit to have every item on me. Like I would always have my Rowan branch, and my Ash branch, and my Dew branch, and the copper ore, and the barrel iron, and the silver. That adds up really quickly. And yeah, for some reason I had the idea that it was smart to do. But at the end, unless you are traveling a lot in a short amount of time, there isn't really a point in having everything on you. And for some items it's useful to have everything. For example, the items that you need for your guild items. Well, if you're a tailor, you're quite lucky, since you only need hides. So that will take up like 4 slots, and that's it. Maybe 5 if you proceed a little bit further. But that's it. If you are, for example, a jeweler, yeah, a jeweler is quite a good example. You will need your ores in the first place. You will probably need some ingots in your inventory. You will need some of those jewels in your inventory, and then it really starts to fill up. That's not really worth the inventory space, in my opinion. And I did that for a really long time, even on my metalsmith on Brandywine. I started on Brandywine. Actually, I started on Firefoot, but I migrated to Brandywine. I still haven't cleared my hunter's inventory there, so I'm still carrying all the hard metals around, but without really much use for it. But that's kind of the thing that I did. And it's convenient. You can just walk to any crafting place and craft your reputation items. But it takes up so much inventory space. So yeah, and especially as an explorer, you can collect all the ores, all the wood, all the hides, and just every other class, well, every profession, I mean, can collect hides. You can also get the scholar items. We will have those as well. And that will just pile up like crazy. Because there are there's one item per scholar per tier that's useful to process, or at least up to Supreme. That's my experience with it. And everything higher than that, I don't know. I don't have a scholar that high. So that's something worth noticing. New deeds, the ring goes south. Okay. Let's also back to Quingus. So as an explorer, your inventory will fill up like crazy. It sounds like a good idea, but when you really think about it, it's not that good of an idea. And of course, there are some people, like me, that are also collecting those berries and a few more of the ingredients as well. Oh yeah, then you can just say goodbye to all your inventory space. You're carrying that around all the time. So yeah, I hope I made my point clear. And just clear inventory, and yeah, it's some habits. For example, when I watch a stream of Furtherlands, and he's a really good player, don't get me wrong, his inventory management can have some improvements, to say it friendly. Since he has the maximum inventory slots as well, but you maybe have like 20 or 25 of them available. Well over 100 slots are filled with, yeah, all crazy stuff, say it just short. And that's fine, of course, it's his way of playing. Yeah, I don't really get the point. Don't complain every time that your inventory is full. he done? Oh, he's almost done. Come on, hit once more, yes. Yeah, a lot of people tend to do that. They tend to say that every time the inventory is full, and they don't know why it fills up so fast. Yeah, but when you think about it, a free player has only 45 inventory slots. If you have the maximum, you have close to 100 slots more. And as a free player, you can play the game just as well. You just have to go a little bit more often to a vendor to sell stuff. But besides that, there's not really a problem. So yeah, that's the only consideration. So for as long as you don't get below the 45 mark, you should be alright most of the times. And war space is fine, don't get me wrong. I like every slot that I have, but yeah, it's not always positive. Because it does have a major drawback as well. It takes forever at the vendor to clear your bag. Don't forget that. Because all that extra space, it needs to be cleared out sometimes as well. And if you have like 45 slots, you will probably save a few of those for some rare drops. For example, I have always one lot reserved for sturdy steel gears. Besides the fact that they are useful, they are really expensive if you want a few water. And yeah, I don't really like to miss them and sell them accidentally. The same is true for some items that you tend to use a lot. For example, for a scholar, that can be his scrolls for in battle, and warding scrolls, or in general your hope tokens, or yeah, that kind of items. And some food, maybe for some players, experience accelerator, just a little bit depending what you are doing. Why is he going after me? Okay. So it depends a little bit on what you do. You should be alright. So. Yeah, inventory space, it can be a struggle, it can be a blessing. It just depends a little bit on your playstyle. I don't really have any problems with mine, and I had a lot of problems with mine, so it's already an improvement. And sometimes you just need to get used to some new habits in order to save an inventory slots of a lot. And yeah, you just need to do that at times. So let's plant the seeds and 8 more of those wood rolls. And then we will hand in the quests. And I don't know if I will do another trip after that one. to be honest. Just to cut down a little bit of the streaming time. But we aren't done yet, that's true as well. So we shall see. But the plan at least is to add in stuff. A minstrel? Oh yeah, it's a minstrel. I thought it was a hunter. Don't ask me why. It looked like a hunter. Okay. Oh, he's at somewhat of the same point as me. As us. It looks like we left the wood trolls area a little bit. Yes, it seems to be. Oh, there's another one. And we still have to open those the Hobbit presents for this week and today as well. There's still a lot to do and a lot of time, that's true as well. You aren't in a hurry or anything. No, 3 more. I have no clue where they are, so just need to stumble into them. Well, they should be around here. About the same places as where I can plant my seeds. Collect the honey. There's a piece of one of those patches around here. At least according to the map. And then I'm not sure, but I think we have to go back here one more time for some of those replanting quests. Not sure actually, but one thing tells me that we have to do it one more time. Yeah, another woodfall. After this one we need 2 more. Then we can hand in a lot of quests. We'll probably accelerate that a little bit. Yeah, now the last 2. Oh, we are lucky. Go and grow those 2 at once. And 1 more. Then we have to find just 1 more of those patches to plant the seeds. Then we are close to done. Where is 1? Should be 1 here somewhere. 1 I've already done. If that doesn't work, maybe a few more here to the river. On the river banks at least. Isn't a real river anymore. It's dried up over the ages. This one is done as well. Oh, there's 1, okay. Are you done? Yes, I'm done. The disturbance. Oh, is the ring goes south. Okay. Do we really need this one? Arbor of Faith, Honesty. Can be useful, to be honest. Are usefuler virtues. How are we on the perks? Can we use one more? Yeah, we can use one. Now we have to wait 2.5 hours. But that's one for tomorrow. That will speed up the quest that we, the experience that we get from the quests. We have a lot to hand in. And I know that we have to go back into those LOTRO area one more time. Hi, Bowen. Are you done with your minstrel? Or done with your minstrel? I have a question. Oh, we can't use a dagger. Okay. So yeah, let's see. Not useful as well. So we get experience. And we did deeds, quest deeds of Eregion. Always nice to do the quest deeds on level.
How can I be of service?
Because there's really not a point in going back. Ooh, that's a nice ring. 13 will, 24 vitality, a little bit fate. Let's grab that one.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, we have done the quests in Dolphinview. And I think Furlands already did all of them. But you have to confirm that for yourself. I haven't done that yet. And I am at the point that you start the riddle quest and that journal on one of the cliffs. Yeah, you get 2 quests, and one of them will bring you to the library thingy or vault thingy. Somewhat close to that, at least. This one. And that's about where I am. And you have to end in those 2 quests at 2 different NPCs. And then you have to combine one at I don't know the name at the moment. That's the point where I am. Maybe we can continue there tomorrow. And I have Furlands also did those Silverstein lobes thingies. Don't really know how to pronounce it. I already did those. That's nothing just came to mind.
Will you lend me your ear?
Let's travel to the next place. Okay. So yeah, we are quite behind our Furlands. Not much of an improvement.
Hail, friend, and well met.
Is useful. Yeah, this one is useful. Yep. Let's switch them. So yeah, maybe we can do that a little bit after stream. I'll stream for I think 20 minutes at most. Then I need to catch up on the Brandywine server as well. And maybe we can team up. If you still have energy for that. There's no vitality. Yeah, he plays every day. That's I still can play every day, but It won't be something I will be doing all the time, of course. And he's a hunter. He's flying through it as a madman.
Will you lend me
So
your aid?
it's hard to to keep it up, but to catch up is way harder. Yeah, at least a few days. Maybe he could alternate a little bit between one day quests and the other day deeds, since you don't really need to do deeds. They are nice, of course, but at least you have one day. But yeah, it's his stream, so I cannot really say anything about it.
What can I do for you? Stay a moment.
And the same is true for me. If I was streaming everything I did on a day, I would play probably close to 8 to 10 hours a day, since I don't have much else to do. So yeah, if you were playing along with me, or someone was trying to do that on another server, doing about the same things, and that's not really feasible as well. Yeah. I just kind of got lucky that I don't have much to do at the moment, so I can play close to every day. On Saturday I also have stuff to do, so that doesn't work either. And yeah, it's difficult sometimes, and I almost never get the end of the stream. I always have my dinner somewhere in the middle. Well, what he does in like 2 hours, there's no way I can catch up by that. Yeah, the only thing that he can help us with is to do some skirmish or later some deeds or some small raids or something. That will give a lot of experience, but I can ask it, of course, but I cannot demand it. Like if I would do it on my own stream, then I missed the quest. Then that would be a completely different story, but yeah. Maybe. Or he will play one day on his warden, another day on his hunter. I don't know. I will send him a message tonight. Somewhere tonight.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
No, you make a joke, please. Okay, we have to kill 12 more. Great. Let's open the presents now. Just to switch it up a little bit. Scraps, I've already seen it. Yeah, I always see your items sooner than your thingy stops scrolling. What's this? Oh, plus 100% crafting experience. Okay. That's an item I don't receive that often. Yeah, and I think maybe now for the Tiny Toons it's a little bit late. But when we start on the high rollers, I think it's more fun for everyone. When we don't have to play every day. Don't get me wrong, I play close to every day LOTRO anyway, but it's nice to play a little bit else, a little bit less the Guardian and a little bit more the Loremaster or Hunter. I have nothing against the Guardian, it's a wonderful class, but it's so boring to level it on your own. So catching up is boring as well. And I have to admit, you have mainly an hunter in your fellowship. The garden isn't really that fun as well. Simply because before you have your enemies grouped quite close, your hunter is already shooting them down, and there's no point in you grind them to death. That's basically what you miss on the Guardian. And as a Guardian, you really rely on your blocks or your parries in order to do any damage at all. And when I'm just pulling and the hunter is killing everything, yeah, there's not really a moment in time that you can do any kind of damage. So yeah, you're just walking and someone else is doing all the work. Yeah. It's not really working, and that's a problem that I had a while ago. My other Loremaster, with someone that I played, he was a Guardian as well, and he had the exact same problem. So it's not just me. And if you're someone that is playing LOTRO and
worse, unnatural. I cannot help but believe Saruman has his hand in the matter.
And yeah, it's somewhat of a struggle. At one side you want to play with someone, at the other time you want to do a little bit more yourself, at least as a Guardian. So Loremaster doesn't really matter, since in group content you're mainly doing the debuffs. And at some higher level it doesn't really matter if there's 1 target or 10 targets, it's fine anyway. What do I get from this quest anyway? It is really extraordinary quest. Yeah, problem. That is kind of an option, but at the same time not an option. Because we will need a good tank. And that good tank is probably only a Guardian. There's no... Well, it's possible for a captain to do it. But it's not something you really want to do. Hey. No, don't die, don't die. That was the absolute wrong way to do it. Okay, let's get out of here. The pet was dying as well, by the way. Let's skip this one. It was just for coins, yeah. Cancel. Oh. I cancelled the wrong quest. Apparently. Defeat this one. Okay. Yeah, we have to go back there anyway. Yeah, a Warden can tank, technically, but... if the Warden is really something for you, then you can learn it quite faster. That's something I have to admit. Since you don't need every gambit, you just need to know the few that you really need, and then you will be fine. And build wise, there shouldn't be any problems, since there are a lot of guides out there. And Furlands has some experience as well as a Warden. That should be fine. But we just really need someone that's the Guardian. And I'm not sure, it's somewhere I remember that Nell would be our Guardian. Might be wrong about that, but it's something I remember somewhere. Somehow. But I'm not sure. I know that we have one guardian at least. And well, we don't really need more than one. That's something we have to think about. But we really need at least one minstrel. There's no question about that. I thought Nell would join us. Yeah, and of course that depends a little bit on. I know her schedule a little bit on how we are playing. For example, every day she probably won't be joining. She really likes to play other classes and do stuff in real life. Some things just need to happen. So that depends a little bit. And yeah, I really hope that she will join us. Of course, that's completely up to her. But anyway, she likes the elves way more than the hobbit or dwarf. So that's at least one bonus point. That's maybe the thing that will trigger her. But we shall see where we start. For now we aren't level 65 yet. So there's not really a point in really joining and knowing what you are doing at this point. But, yeah, we can, of course we can plan a little bit ahead and find the right players. Or any players in general. I will probably join on my existing hunter. I don't really look forward to do all the quests again that we just did. That does get quite repetitive. Which I have done them now on this Loremaster quite recently. So, yeah, I'm just playing for 1 month. And we have done them now on the tiny toons. And I've done them really recent on my hunter. On my hunter on Evernight. So to start now once again in the starter areas and probably in the Shire again. Really my least favorite area of the 3. Yeah, I tend to skip the first 37, 38 levels or something. Maybe the first 40 or what. And then yeah, I'm still fine. Still don't have a major problem. And yeah, at the same time I can walk around with my firework horse and all the other weird items that I have on the run. Yeah, I believe he's just shy of level 40, but I am not really sure. Yeah, he's either level 40, 39 or 38, but not more than that. Where's this one? Oh, it's all in Angmar. Don't you want to use that one? So yeah, and he isn't really up to his class deeds. Since yeah, like a few years ago there wasn't something like class deeds. He is quite well on his normal deeds, the Slayer deeds and Explore deeds. Yeah, virtue wise it isn't really that special actually. Yeah, he's basically just leveled and me thinking I did a good job. That's basically it for that hunter. And still, that's my first character that I made on this account. So it would be good to level it. Since he's probably this level now for, well, I think close to 4 years now. Yeah, 4.5 years. And yeah, that really needs to change. But I don't have the motivation at the moment to play that much on the Brandywine server. So I tend to like the EU servers a little bit more. And yeah, basically it doesn't really matter since it's physical, you're all in the US. But yeah, I tend to stay a little bit more on the EU servers. Loremaster is an EU server as well. Evernight is one. And actually only now is the Tiny Toons. I'm on Brandywine. And if I hadn't transferred to Brandywine, I would probably not have joined the Tiny Toons in the first place. Now it didn't really sound like I would start from scratch. I still had my hunter with a little bit of the metalsmith recipes, so yeah. Yeah, Minstrel, it's quite a weird class. You would expect that it was just a healer or buff or something in that line, but it's literally just one line, maybe 2 lines from a minstrel, and the third one is really good burst damage. I wouldn't expect that from a healer / support class. If I compare that to another MMO that I played, that minstrel, or at least the main healer, didn't do that much damage. He did enough to do his quests and solo content, not really that exciting amount of damage. And as far as I have played minstrel by now, he's packing quite a punch. I won't say that he is on par with a hunter, but man, the first few skills that he can do, they know what they're talking about. But it's at the same time quite weird, since your weapon doesn't increase your attack power, and your offhand doesn't do that. Well, your instrument does it a little bit, or at least can do that. So your main skills that you use, so your melody skills, ballad skills, those skills don't really increase in damage. They always stay a little bit, at least in my experience, about around the 100, 150. Sometimes 200 when you have some of them already active. but you don't really increase those damage. Your cries and shouts and stuff, that does level quite well. And increase with your damage increase with your level. I really want to go there a second third time. Yeah, this one is nice. Yeah. No, I don't really. Let's continue. And find that other quest we accidentally cancelled. But yeah, that's a little bit the old thing that I had with the Minstrel. It clearly is a support class, the way that it can heal. But it can do a lot of damage, but not all the damage skills as well. Yeah, a little bit weird and hard to explain. Yeah. I don't know actually. Those passive buffs don't stack. Oh, in that way they don't stack. But he, yeah, would play a captain on the second account, so he wouldn't really use it, just like his guardian at the moment. So then it wouldn't make a problem, right? Or I see that incorrect. Since his main class would be a Loremaster. Well, buffs from a Loremaster, I don't know that. I think I know one buff from a Loremaster, but that's it. It's quite hard to call that a buff in the first place. And at the same time, I don't know that much from a captain. I leveled 1 to level 20 and I was quite bored of it. But yeah, if he doesn't do anything on his captain, and basically just keep it to level and port players, there shouldn't be a problem, right? And I know that at least the debuffs from a Loremaster don't stack. The two Loremasters, that's a really deadly combination. Even when they are both in the debuff line, in the yellow line. Yeah, okay, now I get what you mean. Yeah. Well, you have a good point. At the same time, a captain does a lot more than just providing that 10% morale boost. If you play it well, you can kind of replace a minstrel. At least at the little bit easier lower instances. Karn Doom, Urugarth, a few of the Moria ones, and if his captain is on follow, it cannot provide that. And I don't believe that is just from the passive buff. Passive buff. So passive buffs. Oh, that was hard. But I don't really know. I know that there are a few healing skills that aren't passive. So. Yeah, that's about what I know from a captain, to be honest. At the same time, Poem, I think it's a little bit the same like a guardian. My experience in Moria is that you don't really need a guardian in the fellowship. Yeah, but I knew that when I started it, and if you know that, it's a little bit easier to accept. For example, in Moria there are a lot of captains around, especially around that level, so the level 60, 65-ish. So yeah, there's not really a point in getting a guardian on there. At the same time, of course, there isn't a captain for the Hobbit and Dwarves, so that's the other side, of course. But yeah, still, it's a valid point that you made. Yeah, I think mainly in endgame. Since in most instances, just as I said, you don't really need it. A captain can replace it in most of the instances. I believe even in endgame, there's currently just one instance where you really need a guardian. And all others, a captain can replace him. Or if you're really good, a champion can replace him. But that's already somewhat odd. Or a warden. But I don't know that much about the endgame. I have never been there myself. But that's what I have seen. But yeah, at the end, for the classes that we have, the Guardian is actually our only tank. For example, our champion, he can tank, but holding aggro is a completely different story. And especially from our Hyper Viper, it's even for a Guardian a real challenge. But yeah, that will improve the more that we will improve in game. So that would level out at some point, and that's probably before level 65. Oh, I stopped. Because, well, most of the times I'm just switching aggro between myself and how is it called? Menespis? Yeah, Menespis is that. Okay, see you later, man. Yeah, that's a little bit the problem that I have with a Guardian on at least the lower levels. You don't really have all your skills to
What can I do for you?
be able to do everything. And grab aggro and keep aggro as good as you want.
Megovanen.
And
Service to me.
I don't really know for champion, but for a Guardian, the solo content is to cry about. Oh, more quest on, nice.
How can I be of service?
Those quests are done. Okay. There are still a few more, okay. That's not too bad. And yeah, we've streamed now for 1 hour and 14 minutes. And I won't say that I will be doing deed at this point. I think this is a nice point to call it for this character at least. Another 10 points, okay. So I will be switching to my higher Loremaster, just to show a little bit on from Moria and to do a few of the quests. I know I still need a few in. Let me think. No, I'm done with quests in Moria. I need a few of the Slayer deeds, so yeah, we will be doing deeds on that one. So I will be switching. You guys will see a black screen for now. I'll keep talking a little bit, so don't go anywhere. It would be back fairly soon. And that will I be doing for like half an hour. And then I will call today. We have streamed for like 2 hours. That should be sufficient for today. Because when I stream a little bit longer, I tend to get some longer silence periods in it, and the more arms and thingies at the end of a sentence. So it wouldn't make much sense to keep streaming. But now I tend to get to the 2 hour mark, 2.5 hour mark. That should be fine, for now at least. And yeah, it's about the plan. Yeah, I had to type my password. So let's get on the Laurelin server. And on this character, there isn't really much different. Besides the fact that everything is going a little bit faster. The damage is a little bit higher. It's more morale. But that's it at the end. And here, I don't think I've ever shown my Laurelin account. This is my Dwarf Minstrel, on which I play on Sunday, on the stream of Nel Nardis. I have a bank account, that's my Guardian. I tried the Guardian before and didn't really like it. In a solo context, it just takes forever. That's why I didn't continue it, and eventually it became my bank account. My captain, of which I just spoke, level 18 apparently. About the same story as a Guardian. My Warden. I was really liking the Warden, the first 20 levels. But from 20 to 22, didn't really like it that much. And for a long time this was my highest alt account, or alt character. So he has a little bit more of the festival stuff, but I mainly play on my Loremaster here. And he is capped at level 60. I have mentioned too many times before. And he is still in Moria. A little bit in Lorien, but I haven't done much in Lothlorien before. I'll probably do a few quests there. Oh yeah, I remember what I was doing. I was doing the riddle quest. I won't do that one on stream. It would fail many times. But I was not really enjoying that. If you compare it, Trade 3 is a little bit further developed than on our Loremaster, and we normally spend our time. Here I have 41 points. I believe that I have 22 points on another one, maybe 25. Not really much more than that one. And yeah, I mainly went for the pet focused stuff on his regular damage, or the damage for myself and the guy and the pet. So you will see those plus 25% pet morale and damage output, and also the attack duration. I've chosen for the eagle. It's quite useful at times, I learned today. Skill introduction, minus 15%, and here minus 9, and attack duration for my pet as well. Sikkim, I will show it a few times today. It's really a cool skill. And this one provides a passive buff based on the pet that you're using. And I'm using most of the time the Bok Guardian, and that will increase my stuns by 2 seconds. That doesn't sound like a much, but it's really a lot. And 10% tactical damage for myself, so I do a little bit more damage. I do it faster, and yeah, just doing more damage in general. A little bit more of pet morale and morale for myself. From the other lines, I have Stormlord, yellow line. It's an AoE stun for just 3 targets, so not really that much, but it's convenient to have another stun. And from red line, 2 ranks in skill introduction, minus 10 as well. And now I'm working on more fire damage. Most of the Loremaster skills are fire skills, at least for the damage. And there's also one for lightning, if you're a little bit further. Or one for lightning and one for technical in general. And yeah, I think I will go for the fire one first, then for the lightning, and there will probably some other stuff here as well. It will be useful. Maybe an AoE skill, I don't know. For now I have just 2 of them. But Lightning Storm has quite a long cooldown compared to Sticky Ground of Cracked Earth. Either have quite a short cooldown. But still, Red Line is really great for solo content, but your pet is way better than you will ever be. So look at damage output. Yeah, I don't need this one anymore. It was from earlier today. We did a few of the deeds. Talking about deeds, deeds log. When I scroll through Eregion, you will see that only a few in Evernight still remaining. They are mostly in the instances, and once again, it's quite a problem to get players for those instances. And if you find people for them, they tend to do them on level, and level is about level 40 to level 50. But yeah, that doesn't really work as level 60 player. But all the others are done, except the last two regions. Here you see that I've started a little bit, but I don't have the quest back. When I go premium again, I won't be able to do those. For now, I think I will travel to Ripdale, or how it's called. That's actually the first area where you get when you are when you get out of Moria. There's still in Moria there's a lot to do. I've still need to do one region with quests. Well, that's Dimril deal, something. That's an area that I just described. We will probably do that one today. That will finish the second deed from the 4 for deeds in Castle 2. That's basically your standard content deed, just as you have them in Bree and in the Shire and Erdluwen. But then for the entirety of Moria. Yeah, normally I tend to just jump down, but I will follow the way for once. So that's yeah. A little bit how it works. And then if you look at the instance deeds, where am I? Please go lower? Or what? Yeah, normally I just jump down and think that I know the way, but apparently I don't. Wait a second. Normally I jump down here. About here. Yeah, it should be this way. Yeah, you see that I still have to do a few of them in Angmar, in Angmar's instances, a little bit of Fornost. Fornost should be doable to solo it. Yeah, it's not really my favorite area. It's somewhat friendly. Oh, it's the wrong way. Let's go south here a little bit. And then there should be a gate. Wait, I'm completely lost now. Need to go that way. Let's go. Do that. Oh, here it is. Now I remember. Yeah, normally I take this way, but I have to jump down and that looks ugly. And there's more than one way, by the way. This is just one. You can also take the northern route, but that one is way longer. It will take you all the way from 21st Hall, then north, through that weird Morvallo place, to call it. Not really my favorite way, but that's another way to get out of Moria. And of course, we can also take the normal goat. Just explore it for this time. I haven't been that much around here. And normally, well, I have been here 2 days ago, I think. I did quite fast 18 quests in this area, since that was needed for the deed. But there are still a lot of quests that need to be done, or at least can be done. Oh, name. Okay. It can be done around here. Yeah, I don't really fancy doing that. And of course, this is the place where the fellowship has been. And yeah, sadly, Gandalf poked a hole in the bridge. We have to ride all the way around. But that's what we are doing at the moment. Where is that? This way? Wait. Yeah, is it this way or is it more to this side? I don't really remember. Oh, here it is. And for those that are wondering, a scholar only needs to be supreme to harvest all the resources. And same is true for a woodsman and prospector as well. So keep that in mind. Since it's quite difficult to obtain new resources, especially as a scholar, once you get into Moria. And the longer you wait, the more items you will kind of lose, or at least not collect. And yeah, that's quite a waste. There are a lot of those boxes around that you can loot. I would highly recommend doing them. This is already taking way longer than I was thinking. But my ultimate goal on this character is to complete the Savior of Khazad-dûm, and that will give me the nimble black coat. And on Nell's stream we have seen him today, that goat. So if you are curious how it looks, you can watch that back. It's in about the last 10 to 15 minutes of her stream. This is, by the way, the bridge of Khazad-dûm, famous from the Fellowship of the Ring. And now we ride into the first hall. That's our last stop for until we ride into Lothlorien. And yeah, for me it doesn't really make sense. It's the way that I know Moria, at least the exit of Moria on this side. It should be a little bit more of a wasteland, far more rocks, and almost no trees. And it's somewhat of the opposite. There are a lot of trees already, and yeah, I kind of get why that is. You are quite close to Lothlorien already, but yeah, it doesn't really make much sense for me. Yeah, there are already trees. Well, there's still a lot of rocks, but yeah, it's a little bit too greenish for my taste. And I've been here before, not that much. Been here before. I've taken the quests. Apparently, didn't even know that. So yeah, this one useful in a bit, but I'm sure there are way better. Lorien, okay. Peak, and it's not really Lorien, it's this one. Okay, I will Select 5 of them. Let's see what we have to do. Oh, up here. Oh, I was warned that it was quite on a long and windy area. The way that you have to kill a lot of enemies up there to get where you need to be. So we'll poke a little bit around, and then I will yeah, we need just 15 of those, so it should be fine. Yeah, we'll do this this deed, or at least this quest. Probably there will be a deed in a second. Yeah, there's one already. Need to kill 100 and then 200. So 300 orcs in LOTRO. Will it be too hard? At least I cannot believe that it would be hard. So sorry about it. At the same time, yeah, can write some resources. Resources are always nice. And let our pet do most of the work. And we will kill those 15 and then I will call it a day. Probably. Well, there are a lot of resources in just this small area already. So maybe I have to keep track of that. And oh, small trees. Oh. Oh. And here's just nothing. Okay. Yeah, already get kind of what people meant with when you go in, you don't really want to go out. You see that I sometimes skip the introduction of a skill. That happens when my pet lands a crit on my enemy. Then I have a little window to cast a skill with introduction. Well, actually, that normally has an introduction, but then without. So that's a way to cut around your well, reasonably long introductions as Loremaster. And you can increase the crit rate a little bit of your pet. So it will happen often and more often that you cast skills without introduction. And that is really useful. It will save a lot of time. Sometimes it won't save any time. Since you cannot control when it will happen. So if it happens just after casting a skill, then you will benefit the most. The moment that you will cast your next skill with introduction, there will be no introduction. But if you are already casting a skill, oh, that was the wrong skill. Then it will just kick in at the point where you are. Most of the times that's not the point that is the most efficient. Most of the time it's just halfway somewhere into introduction, and then you skip like a few tenths of a second. So you don't get the full benefit of it. So there's also a second thing that can happen. Is that your pet flanks an enemy. And at that moment you can heal yourself a little bit. And it doesn't work perfect, but it does work quite well. It's like 200 extra morale. That's number 50, so I will Travel back for now. Oh, here's just a red quest. Is it? Is there more? What do I have to do for the reds? How's it called? Digging west. And digging west is beat orcs at fallen ice. Okay. We will do this one as well. But when you get flanked, you will heal yourself a little bit. And most of the times you have to be fast, otherwise your pet will already kill it. But on bosses or longer fights, it's quite useful to have that option. This icon, flanked, if you use, you'll have to speak. Sign of battle, wizard's fire. Then you will heal a little bit, like 300 to 400. And that's about 10%, so that's quite a strong heal. You aren't able to use that all the time. I believe once every 10 seconds or something like that. 15 seconds. Yeah, every 15 seconds a self heal. That also does damage. And damage over time. I think that it is quite an overpowered skill. I won't say that it is too overpowered in the sense that they should remove it. That absolutely not. It's basically the only self-heal that you can do while in combat. Of course you can heal others, but you cannot heal yourself with Light of Hope, or the upgraded version of that one in Yellowline. And you basically you can use how is it called? Don't get how it's called at the moment. Inner Flame. You can use Inner Flame, and that will heal both yourself and your pet if you're in range. It works on introduction, mainly channeling, so it's depending on how many attacks you receive. But most of the times it's not really that much of a heal, about 100, 200 at most, with a really long introduction. So you won't benefit that much of the skill. But it's a self heal. Of course you have Council of the Wisdom, but yeah, that one is just once every 2 minutes. To call that a sustainable healing skill, I really can't. Oh, they were both from the same NPC. This one has only Fate, so that's not useful for us. Still need more will on my Loremaster. This one is Agility, Vitality, Fate. Yeah, they're not doing it.
Greetings, traveler. Will you stay a moment?
Complete halving the advance. Don't know what that one was about. Oh, Destowed, okay. So I have a new. Oh no. You have completed something. Oh, I don't know what it was. It's fine by me. And legendary items, yeah, I'm really growing out of my legendary items. My main items are maxed already. I have somewhere a second one, this one's maxed as well. This one I just mainly carry around to deconstruct it at some point and then get some nice experience from it. But yeah, this is my other Loremaster, so you guys have seen it by now. Don't ask me to show it again. I will do that with a lot of pleasure. I still like playing on this character. I don't do that much. Yeah, mostly since Lorelin is, at least for lower content, not that active. On the end game it should be fine, and the role-playing stuff, maybe it's not as good as it was before, but it should be fine. So for now, that's about it. I will summon all my friends. Why not? It's something you can do as a Loremaster. Oh, it doesn't really work. And yeah, you can also control all of them to attack an enemy. It's quite fun. And on bosses, they can do crazy damage. The cooldown is long, of course. It's 2 minutes. And they will only be for 20 seconds on the battlefield. But in that 20 seconds, it's quite common to do like 50 to 60,000 damage on a boss. If you summon it at some high level named semi-boss type creatures with like 20k morale, give it 4 seconds and it's dead. It does a lot of damage in the time that they are in the field. And it can really help you in some situations that you would otherwise die. Really worth it taking it. But that will be it for today. So we did our quests in Eregion. We went a little bit south, closer to Moria. And that's where we will continue next time. And next time will be maybe tomorrow for another hour. Oh, the short stream if I can make it. Depends a little bit on my dinner time. And otherwise I will be in the stream of Nelvaris. If you want to speak to me for some reason this evening, I will join Fabio Jedi. I still have problems with his name. And if everything is right, I will host a channel on my own, and you can follow it there. That's where I will be going now. And I don't know if I got a raid thingy working. That's something I will try now if my mouse is willing to switch screens. Oh, and now it's flipping a little bit. Yeah. No, I cannot get it working. I'll just host it. And so for now, see you next time where we continue with our quests in Eregion.